Welcome back to DIY December Day 24, my series where I show you guys all of my DIY tips and tricks in a budget-friendly way. For today's tutorial, we are back with a part 3 to our wedding invitations. More specifically, how I went about assembling our invitation suite. These are the pocket invitations I ended up going with. They're these black metallic, they're called Onyx, and I have linked them in my bio. They are from cardsandpockets.com. I absolutely love them. So the first thing we want to do with these is actually bend all the folds back and forth. This really helps with getting your pocket envelopes to lay completely flat when you have it on a surface. So essentially you're going to have an easier time when you're taping your main invitation to the center. Now that we've done that, we want to take one of our main invitation prints and have that adhere to the center of these. So I flip that card over and I take one of my tape rollers and I am going to adhere around the edges of the back of this invitation. Like most things, I did grab this off Amazon and it is linked in my storefront in case you do need these. So as you can see, I am just rolling along the edges and then I make an X right down the middle. As someone that's a huge perfectionist, you do not need to be perfect with these. I promise, as long as it's adhering to the center, you are good. And as you can see here, I am just eyeballing this right to the center. It is not a perfect 5x7. I did that intentionally because I love that little black border around it. And just make sure when you place it, you give a little bit of pressure without smearing your finger over the ink that's on the invitation. Now that that's set, we want to go ahead and stack our little side cards. With the sizing that I gave you guys in my prior tutorials that come with my template on Etsy, this does lay out perfectly. I've done a few trial and errors with this, but everything stacks so neatly. Now, a popular question I tend to get is what happens if you're not inviting the person to the rehearsal dinner? So what I end up doing is just going with 3 cards and getting rid of the size for the RSVP one, and I am just putting the design of the RSVP on the sizing of the rehearsal card. If you have purchased my invitation template, just message me on Etsy and I'd be more than happy to give you guys the design. Now the last thing we need to do is wrap our belly band around this so we can keep our invitations closed. So taking one of your vellum belly band strips for these, we're going to flip it over and we are going to take that same double-sided tape that we used before and we are just going to do a little tab on the end. It does not need to be a lot whatsoever. It is very thin, light paper, so it does not have a hard time sticking to it. Once you have that, flip it back over and then pick up your pocket invitation and we are just going to line it up so we know where exactly to bend this. Once your design looks centered, go ahead and bend the right side, whatever one is the opposite of which one you taped, and then lay it towards the back. When you have that, lay it face down and then we are going to take the taped end and we are going to line it perfectly along the back. You just want to make sure it hits perfectly so it looks like one continuous loop with these. Then go ahead and give it a little pressure and then you should be good to go. The nice thing about these is if you're not happy with the position, you can slide it up and down based off your placement before putting it into your mailing envelope. And also guests don't have to actually rip this off. They can just slide it out the top and then open up the invitation themselves. I also know that the wax seals are very popular, but honestly, I like the look better of the belly band, so that decision's up to you. And that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully these tutorials were easy enough to follow along so that you can save some money by doing these at home as well.